Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. You see on that low?
Someone's smiling.
All I know is your legendary Denver Bronco coach, Vic Fangio, who's all of 17 and 24 as your head coach, has said he now has provided the blueprint for the rest of the league on how to beat my Dallas Cowboys. And I want to thank Coach Fangio for that, because I say good luck to him and good luck to the rest of the league.
Yeah, didn't Jay-Z have an album called Blueprint? I think KRS had one. Yeah, so now Vic Fangio dropped that.
We'll see him in the Super Bowl. Oh, wait, he won't be there.
Neither will the Cowboys.
We'll see about that.
How does that work? Does he write out the memo?
Yeah, we got a blueprint on you.
I got the plan here. This is how you do it. Ooh, maybe some motivation as well. Well, you know who else finally pulled it off in a very interesting fashion? And the reason Shannon is smiling this morning, the Lakers. They saw a 14-point fourth quarter lead evaporate last night, eventually going to overtime against the Hornets, but with no LeBron in the lineup. 80 and Carmelo combined to score 61 points to save the day as LA won 126-123. Those feel good. Shannon, were you encouraged or discouraged by what you saw last night?
I was encouraged, Skip, because considering the last time they were in this building, they blew a 19-point lead. And once Rondo got ejected, Skip, I got nervous. I'm talking about nervous like a male guest on the Maury Povich show. I was nervous like that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? You are the...
Have you been on there?
Because
you would be a candidate. Right? No.
There you go, Skip.
There we go.
Skip, you be fudging me below the belt. You be dry snitching, Skip. I can't with you.
Yeah.
Rondo came off, Skip, and in 12 minutes was a plus 20. Carmelo Anthony. I don't know what it is about Staples Center, but we might have should have had Carmelo about 3 years ago. If he gonna shoot like this at Staples, Skip.
64% from three at home.
At home. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
Carmelo was spectacular. AD was tremendous. Russ played well, but the turnover, Skip, they needed this. They needed this win bad, Skip, considering that in the last week and a half, you've blown two leads, one of 26, one of 19, and here you are, you have a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, and it looks like you're about to blow that one.
Yep.
So they really needed this. The starters, with the exception of AD, everybody else was really, really low as far as plus-minus, Skip.
Yep.
And the bench came in, and everybody on the bench, Skip, was plus. And they needed it. Wayne Ellington gave them great minutes. Reeves, I don't know what it is, but they really like Austin Reeves, Skip. That joker playing major minutes in critical times.
I told you he has now played the sixth most minutes of anybody on your roster, and he has become a closer for you. He closes every game.
And Skip, who would have thought a 50-foot half-court shot was going to weigh heavily in the outcome of a ball game, because they needed that Malik Monk shot. But I just thought, Skip, they really needed this ball game, considering what had transpired over the last week and a half as far as blowing leads. So that was the last thing that you wanted to have happen. Because remember, Skip, the last time you were in this building, you had a team that's only won 2 games, and the 2 games they won were against you, and you had them down 19. And the last thing you wanted to happen again is be in this building again, have a 14-point lead, and blow that with 9 minutes left in the ball game. Carmelo Anthony, Skip, he was sensational. The only problem that I have, I'm not so sure I would have let AD take that last shot, especially where he was.
In regulation.
I want Carmelo in ISO. Because that's what he was, one of the best ISO players in his generation. And I want him in that situation. And considering he had it cooking, Melo taking that last shot.
Well, AD caught rust disease because he airballed, right? Airballed. You done?
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done.
Thank you. Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah.
You know and I know that your fate revolves around Russell Westbrook. And you know and I know that last night you managed for a rare time to win in spite of Russ.
We overcame him.
You overcame him last night. And I'm not sure how, but again, you did have a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter after Melo hit a shot that I thought had brought the house down and closed the deal.
Yeah.
Right? And
that catch and shoot 3 on the wing?
Yeah, it was just catch and shoot, and that made it a 14-point game with 9:02 left.
Yes.
And shortly thereafter, your coach yanked Melo out just to give him a blow because he's what is he, the second oldest player in the league.
Yeah, he's 37.
Yeah, and so he misses about 2 minutes of game action from about the 8-minute mark down to the 6-minute mark. Melo is out.
Right.
And in that time, Melo goes cold. And I'm not sure I would have sat him. I know it's an easy second guess, but he was so crazy hot. He was 6 of 9 from 3 at that point. He was 8 of 11 from the floor. He was the reason, the biggest reason by far, that you had the 14-point lead. The only time he touched the ball the rest of the game was he took a technical free throw and missed it.
Because he hadn't shot the ball.
Hadn't shot the ball. So all the way down the stretch, all the way home in what became a tie game at the end of regulation, Carmelo Anthony, arguably the hottest shooter this side of Steph in the league. Right. He might be the hottest shooter.
His three-point percentage is better than Steph Curry.
Way better, because Steph's at 38.8 right now, which is not very good for Steph.
Him.
But last night he took 19 and made 9. But Melo, out of his mind, and ended up making a big key 3 in overtime.
Yes.
But how does he not touch the basketball during play from the 9:02 mark all the way down to zeros?
What happened? Rondo got gets a flagrant 2. Now,
can we see that? I think we have that.
I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be a flagrant 1, but I was shocked he got a 2.
This was a turning point of the night for your team. Because here's the drive by Rozier, and Rondo just goes in and just hacks him right across the face, the head, actually.
Yeah.
And that was deemed a flagrant 2 ejection.
Woo. So that's why Melo didn't get the ball down the stretch.
Okay. So he is your quarterback.
Yes.
I told you before the year started, you'd be much better with him and LeBron in the starting backcourt. You just would.
Yeah.
But you're stuck with Russ because you can't not play Russell Westbrook.
That is correct.
You just have to play him.
Right.
I've also made the case he would be much better leading the shock troops in the second unit, Manu Ginobili style, but he's not going to literally sit still for that on the bench,
That's
right?
beneath him, Skip. You
Okay,
know that.
that is way beneath him. So the problem is that you have a 14-point lead, and then even at 5:10 left, you're up 11, and even at the 4:06 mark, you're up 9. Well, these are all margins of victory that you should be able to keep at, especially at Staples, right?
Yes.
Against a team that's getting a little better.
They get better every game,
They're still Charlotte, and they're still very young, and they're still up against 4 players on the court who are Hall of Fame bound, right?
Yep.
And yet the lead dwindles and dwindles and dwindles. Why did that happen? Could we please see what Russ was doing in the fourth quarter?
You know what he was doing.
Could we see the 5 turnovers from Russell Westbrook in the fourth quarter, please? Here's the first one.
Skip, what is that?
You're guarded. You know, that's just a bad idea. Russ, you got to protect the basketball. Russ, I mean, you go backcourt. Russ, you went backcourt. I'm sorry.
No, he hit the ball. No, he didn't.
Nope, you went backcourt. Russ, take care of the basketball. Got to take care. Russ, you just dribbled off your foot out of bounds. You can't do that. That is demoralizing for your team. Russ, careful. He stepped out of bounds because it was Russ's fault. It was a bad pass.
Right.
Russ, take care of the basket. What? What are you doing?
So tell me so we'll both know.
The only D that Russ really plays is called demoralizing, because that's what he does. He demoralizes his own team. With 5 those are just in the fourth quarter. 5. He had 7 for the night.
Right.
He is now leading the league in turnovers. We get that. He is absolutely the worst superstar jump shooter we've ever seen, and it ain't even close.
He was bricking some shots.
Okay. By the way, speaking of that, just let's demonstrate that. Please, before you proceed, can we demonstrate, please, just how many bricks that Westbrook laid last night? He missed 10 shots, and here's shot number 1. Whoops, a little long. Russ, take it easy. Take it easy. Whoops. Okay. No, you didn't get fouled. That just got blocked. Russ, he kind of double pumped that and missed everything long. Russ, that's an air ball. It actually hit glass long. Russ, he's not even able to finish. Russ, you got to finish that one. Come on, Russ. Russ. That's a bad idea. That's just a wild left-handed shot.
He's left-handed.
I know it. I got it. That's a wild shot. How many of those has he missed at the rim? Okay, Russ. No, short. We're about to get to the one where they're just daring him. Russ, come on.
He shot an air ball on one of them, Skip.
Tries to go glass, which is his shot.
That's his shot. That's his shot, glass.
Okay, there you go. That's 10 misses by Russell Westbrook last night. And again, all demoralizing for your team. Because what did AD say after the game? As soon as the ball touches Melo's hands, I think it's going in. Because the Staples crowd rises to its feet every time the ball touches. And every time the ball touches Russ's hand,
I think it's going to be a
everybody
turnover.
Sits and grabs hold of the people next to him like, hang on for dear life, right?
Skip, you mentioned the D as in demoralizing, but here's the problem. He's not an efficient shooter. He turns the ball over, and he doesn't play defense. I mean, who could you put him on? LaMelo Ball had 25. Rozier had 29. He couldn't guard Hayward. He can't guard Bridges. So who can he, so Skip, if you can't play defense, you're turning the ball over, you're not efficient at scoring. I mean, damn. There lies why he was minus 17.
And as we saw as the misses mounted, whoever was guarding him, you saw it the last couple of misses, they don't guard him anymore. They just fall back into the paint. So all of a sudden, AD's saying, Russ, I got to deal with your man and my man. Because they just fall back in and say, well, go ahead, shoot that.
That's what the team yell, hey, don't worry about him, he with us. You know what I'm saying, Skip? We got 6 players, they only got 4. Don't even worry about him. He with us now.
Okay. So here we come with Russ again. He did have his triple-double last night, so trust me, he slept like a baby. He's got no conscience because all he cares about, as I said before the season started, he is a solo act of a stat machine that you could nickname TD as in triple-double because for the last 5 years, he has averaged a triple-double, and he's starting to threaten to average one for your Lakers because he's always, if I just round up, he's 19, 9, and 9 for his seasonal averages so far. The problem is, to get there, he's now shooting 41% from the floor, which is abysmal.
Horrible.
That's the ranks 105th of 136. From 3, he has plummeted to 25.6%. That ranks 147th out of 157. And you're going to ask me who's the worst? Well, it's Michael Porter Jr., who's he's out now for Denver Nuggets, but he's at 20.8. But still, Russ is in the bottom 10 of that. Free throws, he's on a pace to shoot a career worst.
He did shoot 70% last night, 7 to 10.
He's up to 64.2%. That ranks 99th of 103 in the league. He's not overcoming the high turnover rate or the lousy shooting with anything else, except he can stuff the stat sheet.
But that's on us.
Okay.
Because he's been a lousy shooter. He's been a turnover machine. And we've overlooked it because of the triple-double.
We have.
But now that we spread it out and we look at it, man, Russ had 17 points last night. Yeah, it took him 15 shots. Man, Russ had, 14 assists. He had 7 turnovers.
He did.
And he was minus and plus minus.
Okay.
So now that we start to play, because why is a guy, Magic Johnson, when he got triple-doubles, they were winning games. Normally teams win, when you get triple-doubles, Skip, you win. Russ getting triple-doubles and the team they're losing. So what's going on?
So what was the game within the game during the fourth quarter last night? The stat game that Russ was playing, he goes into the fourth quarter with only 5 rebounds. Guess what he did in the fourth quarter? He got 7 rebounds, all defensive rebounds, because he locked down and said, I got to go get the basketball. Obviously, no one can chase the basketball any better than this man. No man playing this game, no woman playing this game has the energy.
Not on a nightly basis.
The crazed energy to attack and to chase the basketball like Russ does. And Russ, he was going after the defensive glass like a demon last night.
He might be on Red Bull, Skip. Because how you have that kind of energy night in and night out to chase the rebound? Because one time I saw him down there at half court and he came in, swooped in for a rebound that was under the basket. I'm like, where did you come from?
I remember the play. I know, like he was possessed to get he needed 10 rebounds. He needed 5, and he got 7 in the fourth quarter. But meanwhile, because of the 5 turnovers, he was a -6 in the fourth quarter. He has no real feel for playing point guard to get you home because if Rondo had stayed eligible for the rest of the game and if Vogel had been able to use him or try to play them together, I don't know how he would have done it.
Play them together.
Okay, but Rondo could have gotten that game home comfortably.
Skip, you see,
and by the way, remember, in the end, Charlotte got a pretty decent look at 3 to win the game. It came down to that. So you're 14 points. You almost had another disaster. Okay.
Skip, if you look at Rondo coming down on the break, and Rondo is looking, and all of a sudden Rondo bounce it back. Here's Melo going down the court. Good pass, boy, good pass. What you think? Ain't no way Russ looking for that. Russ going to the rack.
Yep.
Just like he did the other time when he lost the ball. He tried to Euro step, tried to Euro over the guy, and the ball flew up in the stands. Skip, look, Melo, if you look at Melo, Skip, he has 5 games of 20 points or more off the bench. I mean, he's been a life sent, and he's accepted his role. Melo got 2-3 more years in this role, playing like this.
Well, he has literally turned his game upside down.
Yes.
Because do you remember the Denver Melo? You obviously do.
I do.
Do you remember the Knicks Melo?
Yeah.
He was a back to the basket.
Yes.
As Kobe always said, he was my toughest cover because he got such a big caboose and he's so naturally bull strong. He's just bullish.
Right.
But he played low post bully ball.
Yes.
Well, do you ever see him do that now? He doesn't do any of that.
Very seldom.
I mean, very seldom.
He's around that 3-point, and he's lightning quick catch and shoot, Skip. He got a hair trigger. Soon as that thing hit his hand, Melo let it go.
And you want to talk about conviction of a shooter? It's just like you can just see in the body language, I'm just going up. I'm going to go up, and I'm going to make this.
And Skip, I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking. I'm like, man, Melo about to make this. I mean, every one that he shoots, it looks so pure. It looks as if it's going in. I have the same, like when Steph shooting, like, oh, that's good. Now Melo especially in Staples, I'm starting to think everything that he puts up is going good. But Skip, the turning point of the ball game, you got a 9-point lead. They foul Melo, and then all of a sudden Carmelo Anthony and Russ starts chirping. The man gets 5 free throws. You got to understand the moment of the game. In that situation, Sean Wright, I know Sean Wright very well. He was the lead official last night. Yep. He had made the call. Let it go, guys.
I agree.
That was a 5-point play. So a lead that was 9, all of a sudden it's 4.
They got a delay of game. It was like a mess. It was disastrous. And again, would Rondo have cleaned that situation up? I don't know. Rondo's hot-headed too.
Yeah, but at some point in time, you just got to know when it's over. Okay, we fouled. Okay, and that's what Frankie B was Frankie. Be smart. Be smart in those situations. A situation like that, Skip, that'll cost you a ball game. And luckily, they were playing Charlotte. This is a very young football team, still a basketball team that's trying to find their way how to close ball games.
They are.
Because remember, Skip, just the night before, 2 nights ago, they had a big lead on the Clippers and let the Clippers close the game on a 20-0 run, and they end up losing.
Yeah, so 27-4.
Yeah, so they're trying to find way. They're trying to find themselves and find a way to close these type of ball games.
Yeah.
But a good team, you in a situation like that, you get beat, you lose that game.
Hey, listen. There's another Melo on the floor, a young one. And last night, the old Melo was trying to say, no, this is my house and my game. But LaMelo, as in ball, had sensational stretches last night. But again, it's early and he's young. But down the stretch, he defers to all of his veteran teammates to a fault. I want to see him say, no, I got this. I got the basketball, because he just goes quiet at the end of the game and hot potatoes the basketball.
Skip, he was 25, 15, and 11 with only 3 turnovers.
Yep. But,
I mean, and what is he 20 yet? I mean, does he have a driver's license? I don't even know if he has a driver's license yet. I guess you can't. I mean, he can't drink yet. He has a driver's license. But he's 20, Skip, and he's doing like he played sensational.
Okay, but if you look at what happens in the fourth quarter, he was just too quiet. He took 3 shots and made 1.
Right.
He did have 5 rebounds and 3 assists, but it was quiet. But down the last couple of minutes, when I thought it was his time to take the game over, he just wasn't around.
He scored 7 points, Skip, as you mentioned, on only 3 shots. He was plus 11 and plus minus. 3 assists, no turnovers. His dad always said he was going to be the best one of them. He ain't lying. As we sit here right now, he ain't lying.
He's got special written all over him. As he says, it's like he's not from here. That's his favorite quote, LaMelo's quote, like he came from some other galaxy. Far, far away.
Maybe not this year, Skip, but he's going to be, it's just a matter of time. He's going to be an all-star.
Oh, definitely.
He's going to be an all-star. He has that kind of ability. And now the 3-point shot is going for him. He's pulling up some threes from like 27, 28.
Yeah, his father taught him to respect his elders, and he's doing it a little bit to a fault, because once he takes over this team from, say, Gordon Hayward or Scary Terry, you know, like he needs to say, no, it's my show.
But him and Rozier, they play really well together.
No, they
Miles Bridges, you know, I mean, these guys, I mean, Gordon Hayward is considerably older, but most of the guys, Skip, are not much older than Melo.
Nope, I agree. So every day I turn our show into a Russell Westbrook blooper reel. So just to be fair and balanced here, could I please show you the one play that Russ made that I thought was the play of the game in overtime?
Oh, yeah.
This is Russ, and it was a good look because he saw out of the corner of his eye that AD had the advantage.
Right.
And he got him the basketball and got him to the free throw line. And to AD's credit, because he's been struggling.
He's been struggling for the free throw line, Skip. He's been struggling.
Okay, those are two big shots because that was the margin of victory right there, right? Yep. Okay, so in the end, Russ, he's got capability to occasionally make one of those passes, but it's at the expense of all the other ones because he has no fear. He'll try anything at any time, and sometimes they really work. That one worked. That was good.
Okay, Skip, if you want to do that in the first quarter, but in the fourth quarter, in a tight ball game, you can't be willing to try anything. That gets you beat trying anything in that moment. Like we said, all turnovers aren't created equal because all moments in the game aren't created equal.
Yeah.
If Russ understood that, he wouldn't try some of the things that he tried in the fourth quarter. But because he looks at the game as the game, the first quarter has the same value as the third quarter. The second quarter has the same value as the fourth quarter. That's how he looks at it. Most people looks at it the opposite way, understanding that as the game progresses, it gets tighter. You're like, man, I can't try that.
Yep, I agree.
But Russ like, yes, I can. Watch me. I'm about to.
Because no one has ever held him accountable.
Way too late now,
for any of that. It's way too late. He is gone. He does not value the basketball because he was never asked to value it or made to value it. He just got away with whatever he got away with because he was averaging a triple-double, and he knew people paid to watch him play.
Right, and that was the thing, Skip. You say you can't teach an old dog new trick, and that's how it was with Tonka before he passed. I was like, Tonka. But I let him get on the couch when he was a puppy. As he got older, I tried to stop him. I wake up in the morning, Tonka stretched out on the couch like he a human.
And?
Because you know why, Skip? Because I allowed it when he was a puppy.
Okay.
So he's like, what you think? I'm not finna sleep on no hard floor. I'm finna get up on this couch.
Did you punish him?
No.
No. Okay. Does anybody punish Russ?
No.
No. You should see my dog. It started that way, Shannon. 1 month in, no bed, but now he owns the room, right?
See?
No mercy.
The Steelers beat the Bears 29-27 last night, but a lot of people are talking about a taunting penalty that extended a Pittsburgh scoring drive in the fourth quarter. Chicago linebacker Cassius Marsh celebrated a third down sack of Ben Roethlisberger and then bumped into an official on his way back to the Bears sideline. Marsh was flagged for taunting and afterward was upset about how it went down, telling reporters, if I was to do that to a ref or even touch a ref, we get kicked out of the game and possibly suspended and fined. I just think that was incredibly inappropriate. Shannon, what is your view on this?
I agree. I believe Tony Corrente stepped in this gentleman's line of in its path, caused him to bump him. Now, I thought that's what he threw the flag on is because the Marsh bumped into him. Skip, I didn't know that.
Okay, but you're saying he stepped into Marsh's path.
Yes, he did. Because Marsh looked like he was...
I agree.
Right. Marsh
so
looked like he was trying to
flag him if you run into him.
Right, but he's saying he flagged him for taunting the bench.
Yes.
But if that was the case, when he was doing all that, throw the flag then, and therefore you don't back into him and then throw the flag once the guy bumps into you. Because, Skip, even if the guy, if I'm on the field, this happened to Rod Smith on a Monday night. He was tussling with a DB. He snatches his hand from the DB, and he accidentally hits the official. Flag goes up in there, Rod is gone. He didn't mean to do it, but if you make contact with an official on the field, it's an automatic ejection. Well, Tony Corrente, you bumped into the guy. You hip-checked the guy. That guy was not going to bump Tony Corrente, Skip. And the way he was running, Corrente back. So the NFL should suspend him for 1 game.
Wow.
1 game. He's got to miss a game, Skip. He's got to miss a game. A check, because that's what, an official, a player, or $25,000, whatever he makes. He needs to be punished for this. Players are asked to go above and beyond, even in an emotional state, Skip, to understand who that gentleman is and what his responsibility is, and not to make contact. Now you're asking me that when I'm running, the official bump into me, he can bump into me? That's not right. Now, I do think Marsh, after watching it over and over again, I think, Skip, you can't do that.
Thank you.
You cannot do that. You cannot look at the opposing team's sideline.
Glare at it.
Bro, you had already done, you did like 5 spinning kicks. I thought this was Mortal Kombat. He had done 5 spinning kicks.
Okay, he's always done that after a sack. That's his signature celebration.
Okay.
Got it. And they didn't flag that.
Guess what he was? Because he was looking at the end zone. He was doing all that, and they go keep on doing that. And then that wasn't enough, because that didn't garner the attention that he wanted. He had to turn and face the Steelers bench. What do you think's going to happen? Bro, come on now. I get it. Skip, I grew up at a different time, but I understand now they're trying to cut down on the taunting. And they said, but, I mean, I don't know what Marsh was thinking. But Corrente was wrong in this instance because I believe he went out of his way to make sure Marsh made contact with him. And I don't like that. I don't think he should have done that, Skip. That's my stance on that.
Okay, I got it. And I hear you. Okay, I'm going to start with the taunting, and I completely agree with you. I know it's gone a little over the top, if not over the edge, but they made it a point of interest and emphasis before the season started, and they warned everybody, this is coming. We're going to crack down on this. You can celebrate all you want away from anybody who's fallen. You can't taunt. Jalen Ramsey got one on Sunday night for taunting down. You can't taunt somebody beneath you. They will not. They don't like standing over, laying over on top of. They won't accept that. That's a flag.
Because guess what Ramsey tried to do? He tried to do the Iverson crossover on Ty Lue.
He did.
Over A.J. Brown.
Okay. So now back to Tony Corrente. I think he saw him coming, knowing what he was about to do.
Right.
And remember, Cassius Marsh has been in this league for a long time. This is his 9th stop. This is his 9th time around with a different team.
Yeah, because I remember the 49ers and the Seahawks. I know he's been on those two teams.
Okay, and he was once a 4th-round pick out of UCLA, but it's way back in 2014. He's now 29 years of age. So he knows the ropes. You know, he knows what's going on. And yet, remember, the Steelers cut him in August, so he spent the summer with the Steelers. So he wanted to show them.
That explains it.
That's why. Okay. So now he's starting to move forward, and I believe that Tony Corrente was trying to ref him out of moving toward the Steeler bench, which that's out of line. That's not within his duties. But it felt like he was trying to back up to impede his direction he was taking to go toward the Steelers bench. But if you look at it, he's already reaching for his flag. He's getting ready to call it before there's any contact. To me, because he sees what's coming, but he's out of line to sort of back into it.
Yeah, because he stuck his butt out of you. The guy was running past. Look at this, Skip. That's not a natural move, Skip. That's not a natural move.
Because he knows what's coming. He knows he's going the wrong direction. You know, he's going to go taunt the Steelers bench. And I'm not sure he yelled anything at the Steelers bench.
No, Skip, he's going towards his bench.
Okay, now he's going backwards. I'm sorry. He'd already done it. He'd already done it. So, okay, now I'm not sure why he would hip check him backwards. I don't know why. But by the way, once he got to his bench, his line coach just reamed him out.
What the hell are you doing?
Because he knew you can't even start. If you give them the tiniest reason, they're going to throw a flag because they've been told by their superiors, anything untoward here, it gets flagged. You're right. He was going the wrong way. So he's going back toward his bench. So he's not trying to impede his progress. He'd already done it. But he's already ready to flag him because he's already reaching in his pocket. So I don't know what that was about. But Corrente said, I didn't judge the contact as anything that I dealt with. He said that had nothing to do with the flag that I threw. So it wasn't like he was going to flag him for contact because he's already reaching for his flag before he initiated the contact.
But if I'm the NFL, I'm looking, why did you make that unnatural motion as this gentleman is running past you? You were in a spot. As he starts to run past you, you're starting to back up. Why?
I don't know. And I'm with you. It was literally out of bounds for the referee. I've never seen a ref do that.
It's an unnatural act, Skip.
Yep, it is. And I don't know why if he's trying to get his attention or what, but he did it, and it was out of bounds, and it was wrong. Okay, now let's talk about the game itself. You and I went back and forth about should Justin Fields be playing this year as a raw rookie. And from the start, I just said, look, they moved up to get him. They took him. You play him. And I've always been about my Peyton Manning theory is they threw Peyton into the fire as a rookie, and he led the league in interceptions, but he was Peyton Manning. So it helped speed his growth instead of stunt his growth by sitting him for a year. And I know you can come back at him. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years, or whoever you want to get. Mahomes sat for 1 year. But in this case, Justin Fields is getting better by the snap because he's tough enough mentally. If you're not that guy, you're going to fold under the fire.
Right.
And they don't have a great offensive line, but it hung in better in the second half last night.
It did.
They started to get some blocking rhythm.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Justin Fields started feeling like, I got a little time to cut loose here.
But also, what were they able to do? They were able to run the ball just enough to keep the Steelers on the hill. 26 for 136, 5.2.
And some of that came from the quarterback on called runs.
If you think about Skip, a lot of his big throws came with him on the move because he's that type of quarterback.
He is.
So maybe Matt Nagy needs to design more things that put him on the move instead of allowing him to be stationary where they can find him. He's good enough that he can throw. If that last touchdown that gave them the lead, Skip, he was on the move.
He was on the move. And that third down throw that he threw before that, on the deep out, that was a big time throw.
Yes.
I'm seeing star quality from him. Obviously, our problem with him at Ohio State was every once in a while he'd come up with a Northwestern Big Ten championship game stinker. We'd say, where did you go? Well, I don't know. We're about to talk about Dak Prescott. He had one of those stinkers on it. It just happened.
We saw him against Clemson, and we like, okay, man,
there's that guy.
There you go.
Right? Okay. So, to me, he got better and better. He got more and more confident last night, and it's why these kids should be allowed to play. You're going to have growing pains. You're going to have stops and starts and fits and spurts. But the point is that you see before your very eyes, he's made of the right stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He can handle failing because you're going to fail. But then can you bounce back? Well, it appears that he bounces back pretty quickly.
Yes. I think the thing is, Skip, as long as you're going to be able to run the football, because if you look at when he got punished by the Browns, they were unable to run the football. So now he's a sitting duck because with that kind of pressure that the Browns can generate, and your offensive line isn't very good. Now, that's on the GM, that's on Matt Nagy because they haven't improved. You get a quarterback, Skip, you want to protect him. There's a reason why they have guards and they have a vault to protect the money. Well, the money is Justin Fields. You need guards to protect the money. So I agree with you, Skip. I thought he played well. This was a game they easily could have won.
And by the way, he runs with authority.
Yeah.
He's not Cam-sized because Cam's 250.
But he's bigger than you think, Skip.
He's 220-ish.
Yeah.
But 6'3", but he's stout. He runs strong to me. He runs stronger than his age. You know, he's not a baby. He is a man.
Can I ask you one question, Skip, about these taunting penalties? Do you think in the prior 3-4 years, I've never heard you say, well, you know what? They probably need to step in and do something about this taunting.
Nope, I never thought about it.
I mean,
it never bothered me. It bothered John Mara. He was the first one I saw speak out.
Right. Skip, I remember when the incident on contact, I remember they put upon the emphasis because the Patriots were starting to beat people up doing that. And Peyton started complaining, teams started complaining about it. So they said, you know what, we're going to do this incidental contact, this illegal contact. Now, we're going to make it a point of emphasis. Well, people started to talk about that. I didn't hear anything. And I'm close to it. I've never heard anybody say, you know what, man, this taunting is getting out of hand.
Nope, nobody said it. I didn't say it. I never thought twice about it.
I never thought twice about it.
But again, I'm all about the rules are the rules. And if you're going to enforce them that way, you better be careful. You better honor that on the field or you're going to pay for it.
So I'm just trying to figure out, so what's taunting? So when the guy get an interception and they run all the way down to one end zone and they roll the boat or they do the river dance. So
they're just saying taunting to a fallen victim. You know, like if you just victimized him, you can't taunt them.
I get it, Skip. The spinning the ball at the guy's feet or, all that kind of stuff. Skip, I get that. Stepping over the guy, because guys were getting, everybody wanted to be AI and start stepping over the guy after you catch a pass or you got or you make a defensive stop. But I didn't think the taunting was getting out of hand.
So here's the bottom line to this game. You look at the stat sheet and you see Chicago rang up 414 yards to only 280 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at yards per play. Chicago had 7.1 yards per play. That's pretty good.
Yes.
Pittsburgh had only 4.2 yards per play. That's no good. Najee Harris is not having the physicality impact I thought he would.
They can't block.
But he doesn't hit the hole with authority. He's not like he's not going to just give up. He'd rather make you miss more than run over you.
Yeah, well, that's what he is.
Okay, and yet look at his impact last night. It was pretty quiet, wouldn't you say? 22 carries for 62 yards.
Yes.
That's 2.8 a crack. That's not good enough. And he caught 3 balls for another 16 yards. Not good enough.
Right.
Okay? So if I show you the stats, you'd say Chicago won the game, right?
Except
that Ben Roethlisberger won the game because I keep telling you, you can't sleep on Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger. I don't care what you say. They just keep figuring out how to win a game late.
Skip,
was that not a sweet last drive by Roethlisberger?
I don't think Ben Roethlisberger could win a punt, pass, and kick contest at this age.
Well, he won a football game.
Did you just see that throw he threw to James Washington? That James Washington would have had an 80-yard touchdown, but he had to come all the way back.
Somebody in a different colored jersey should have caught the ball. I give you that. I give you that. But did you see the last drive?
I did, but Skip.
Because he knows how to do it.
But guess what happened? When you have 12 penalties for 150, Skip, the ball's right here. How you got your whole head, you looking down at the ball, Skip, and don't nothing say, you know what? I think I might need to back up a little bit. On consecutive plays.
Okay, I got it. Big Ben's offense, 3 of 3 in the red zone.
Yes.
Bears 2 of 4. That's the ball game.
There you go. That's the difference in the ball game.
Thank you.
Yeah, red zone.
Game over.
Yeah. You got to get through. You can't settle for threes because somebody go put touchdowns on the boards and beat you.
Well, in the end of that game, you say Ben's washed up. He did not look washed up in that last drive.
Yeah, he
did not look washed up.
I'd love to have seen March not all of a sudden go Mortal Kombat for 5 minutes and see what would have happened.
Okay. Well, all I know, Pittsburgh wins another game. I don't know how they do it.
But the Ravens, you know, O.L. Jack got something for him.
Yeah, and the Browns got something for him. Okay. Browns got something for L. Jack.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
You know L. Jack got their number.
Okay. That's not true.
We'll see who has something for the Cowboys, right? Because after dominating the Cowboys offense for the majority of the game Sunday, Broncos head coach Vic Fangio praised his team's defensive game plan, saying, quote, I just felt we had the right stuff to give ourselves a chance. We just have to do it the right way and call it the right way. Mike McCarthy scoffed at the idea that Denver showed the rest of the league how to stop Dallas's high-powered attack, replying yesterday, quote, this is a copycat league, I just told the team. So get ready. Vic played us very aggressive. That's good to hear him beating his own drum. So, Shannon, did the Broncos show the rest of the league the blueprint here?
Yeah, Shannon, did they? I want to know. I want to know. I need to know from the Hall of Famer, the former Bronco.
Now Mike McCarthy all of a sudden is upset at the coach beating his chest when all the time he's going for those fourth down. He tell you how analytical. Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike, go for those fourth down, Skip. And you were loving it.
Yep.
My team, your team.
Yep.
Skip, look, no. Skip, this blueprint isn't unique to the Cowboys. This blueprint is unique to every team. So let me tell you what happens. Every time you let a team run for almost 200 yards, every time you let a team go stop you 4 times on fourth down, and you let them possess the ball for 41 minutes, and you have the ball for 19 minutes, you turn it over, they don't, you're going to lose. You're going to lose, Skip. We saw this in the Super Bowl, the Giants against the Buffalo Bills, Skip. Remember the K-gun? And what did Bill Parcells say? We got to take their out of the ball.
Shorten the game.
We will run it.
Yep.
They ran it with O.J. Anderson. The defense limited. And guess what? 40 minutes of time of possession to 20 minutes time of possession, and they missed a late field goal. 2019 Giants win the Super Bowl. So this isn't unique. We see this. What do they try to do to Patrick Mahomes? What do you try to do? What the teams try to do to Peyton Manning? What do they try to do to Tom Brady? Let us possess the football, limit his time on the field, don't turn it over, coax a few, maybe we can get a fumble or a pick from them, and we're going to win the game. This blueprint isn't unique to the Cowboys. This blueprint is unique to the NFL. Because if you do what they did, Skip, 190 yards rushing, 41 minutes time of possession, you take the ball away. You don't give it away. You're efficient. You cash your opportunities once you get in the red zone. Skip, you're going to win. It's as simple as that. So I get Coach Fangio is very excited, given the injuries that they had going into the game, given the injuries that they sustained during the game, and they thoroughly dominated. Skip, 30-16 doesn't do this game justice. You know that. This game was a lot more dominant, one-sided than what 30-16 would indicate. And I get Coach Fangio wants to feel good, Skip, but this blueprint isn't unique to the Cowboys. It's unique to every team in the NFL. This is what you try to do every Sunday, Monday or Thursday. Dominate time of possession, run the football, take the ball away, don't give it away.
I know, but he's indicating he knows the secret. Like there's some strategic secret that he knows that nobody else knew. That's what he indicated. Other teams didn't know how to play them. You're talking about big picture strategy. He's talking about little picture inside beat-down strategy.
Well, Skip, he told you what he wanted to do. He wanted to take the run away, and he wanted to force the quarterback to throw the football. And that's what teams try to do. Skip, I want to make you one-dimensional. Dallas Cowboys are at their absolute best when they're not one-dimensional, because you were talking about, man, oh, look at Zeke. Oh, Zeke is back. He looking sleek Zeke. Tony Pollard. So now all of a sudden they can't go get you 180, 200 yards. Now Dak can't play action off of that and throw it at high efficiency. So the key is, okay, if you want to say one thing to do, stop the run and make Dak throw the football to beat you.
I want to thank your coach, Vic Fangio, for providing my team just the motivation it needs to get ready for the Atlanta Falcons.
That's your coach job.
Yeah, well, you know, he's dropped the mic, McCarthy, because I'm saying that sarcastically, because he's not going to get them ready. But the other coach just got them ready for what I consider a crucial game at home against the Falcons from your city, Atlanta.
Oh, so you saying they're going to open up a can on the Falcons?
The Falcons just went to New Orleans and beat a team that had just romped all over Tom Brady, right? Okay, well, here they come. This is a turning point in the season. Are they real or not real? Are they just going to win the least, or are they going to make a deep run in the playoffs? We will find out this Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons, who owe them, because we stole one from the Falcons a year ago, 40-39 on a late watermelon kick after you had us down dead to rights and out, right? In game number 2 last year at Jerry World. Okay, so I want to thank Vic Fangio, who is now 17-24 as the head coach of your Denver Broncos. And he wants to beat his chest because he was beating it, saying, I know how to do this. He said, I don't know what's going to happen from here on. Maybe they'll score 35 a game on everybody else, but I know how to do this.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, what does Vic Fangio do? When they get off the bus, what do they start doing to teams? They blitz. Nobody in the National Football League blitzes as much as your Denver Broncos do. Well, Mike McCarthy's smart enough to know that, and I guarantee you Kellen Moore knew that, and I really guarantee you, I double guarantee you that Dak knew they're coming after me with everything they got. Kitchen sink is coming because that's how they play. That's how they play everybody. They put their corners in grave jeopardy, and that's what McCarthy said. He just said you have to take advantage of the corners. The corners have to be made to tackle. That's what he said, right? So 2 things happened. We had a harmonic convergence, a devilish harmonic convergence of 2 things happened that I did not see coming. Number 1, my rush defense came in ranked 6th in the league, allowing only 88 yards rushing per game. It has been night and day, as in nighttime and day, as in graveyard nighttime and day from last year, where all of a sudden we are very credible against the run. In fact, we've been pretty good against the run. And all of a sudden, we get blown off the ball and blown off the field by 190 yards rushing. Who saw that coming? You didn't say that on Friday. We're going to run you off your own field. Nobody saw that coming. And the harmonic convergence came when my quarterback, Dakota Rain Prescott, out of nowhere, he has what I still believe is the worst game of his Cowboy career. You can't tell me there's been a worse game than he had 79 yards passing through 3 quarters.
79.
And then he had 153 in the 4th quarter to make it look respectable because it was straight garbage time. It was 30-0, and he made it 30-16 by hitting somebody twice for touchdowns named Malik Turner. Malik Turner, I don't even know who he is. And he was in the game because nobody else was, because it was garbage time. Okay, so who knew that Dak Prescott could play that poorly and that the run defense could just lay down and die right before your very eyes? What is run defense about? It is about focus. It is about energy. It is about effort. It is about desire. It is about want to. We just want it worse than you. Well, guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, we did not take Vic Fangio and the Broncos seriously at all. We just thought we could roll our helmets out there. We even had a new stripe. We had the red stripe on the helmet, for Veterans Day. And we thought those helmets were so powerful, we could just roll them out on the field and the Broncos would say, we give up. We give up. And Tony Pollard returns the opening kickoff 54 yards, and I thought, here we go. It's an onslaught. Yep. This might be 40-0 Dallas, right? And we get to a 4th down, and you know what happened? Zeke went nowhere slowly for -1. And then if we could see what happened on the second 4th down, it's 4th and 2 at the 20. This is Dak Prescott at his very worst, because this is where the corner's in jeopardy. The corner's in jeopardy, and he's got him. You said yesterday that Cedric Wilson would he'd still be running.
Yeah, he's scoring.
Well,
this man covered this lock.
And I first thought it got tipped at the line of scrimmage. He just threw it in the dirt.
Well, the thing is, Skip, he saw the guy jump.
He did.
He should have. He threw it to say he should have sidearmed.
Maybe double pumped it and tried again. I don't know, but it became such a bad throw that you wasted an opportunity, because it's still 0-0. You could be up 7-0 if you somehow sidearm it or Mahomes it or whatever you're going to do to make that play go. Well, that's horrendous. And then who's my biggest play receiver? It's CeeDee Lamb. He's the one with all the 20-plus yard catches. Well, can we see the 2 throws to CeeDee Lamb that Dak just flat out cold missed? Here's the first one on a deep ball, and he's got him. He's got him 2-3 yards deep open. He's got him. That's CeeDee. As he said in camp, he just walks under those go routes, right? Well, you got to make that throw, and he missed him by 5 yards long. And then here's the second one on 4th and 1. And he uncovers, CeeDee does. This is a touchdown. I mean, it's just gone for a touchdown. He missed him by 7 yards by overthrowing him. I don't know if he was rusty. I don't know if he was too calf conscious because he was afraid of his calf and he was afraid to really push off on the calf. I have no idea. But somehow he lost it. I told you yesterday he's making $75 million this year. He played like he was worth $7.50 yesterday. And those two things, if Vic Fangio can predict that, boy, he's a wizard to me.
But, Skip, I've been trying to tell you, we had this conversation last week, and people have tried to say the Cowboys' defense are better than what the stats would say. And I say, no, they're not.
Okay, but the stats did say 88 yards rushing a game. That's decent. You got to give them that.
Okay, Skip, but where are you in total defense? Where are you in points
middle
allowed?
Of the pack.
Exactly. So you're a middle pack defense. And I told you, Skip, I said, Skip, what happens? I said, your defense is looking good, but what happens when you don't create a turnover? When Trayvon Diggs or one of these guys don't get a pick six and run it back, or you don't get a scoop and score, you don't get a short field, what is your defense then? Well, the Broncos did not give you a pick six. They didn't give you a scoop and score. They didn't turn the ball over. And so what happened? I told you, I said your secondary isn't very good, Skip. Your secondary is not a blue stock. It's not a blue stock chip. It's a blue chip stock.
Blue chip stock. Yeah.
They're not. They're high tech. They're very volatile. And I told you, I said, Trayvon Diggs, he doesn't have the best technique, Skip. I say, if you start the game off and double moving, you got him for the rest of the game. Because now he has to think. Instead of just sitting in that chair and driving everything, he's like, are they going to, is this a situation where they double move me? In every situation, I just want to put that down. My position coach, Les Steckel, used to tell me all the time, son, if you hesitate, you're beat. And for a DB, you absolutely, if you hesitate, you're beat. Now, I'm going to tell you this, Skip Bayless. Your best offensive lineman is Zach Martin. Your most important offensive lineman is that left tackle that's not playing. Because you see what happened to Terrence Steele when they moved him from right to left?
What happens to most tackles if you move them from their natural position, which he played in college, right tackle, and suddenly you say, you got to go upside down, you got to go this way. Everything becomes wrong.
Trust me, as a guy that I didn't do it much, Skip, but the kick, I'm a right-handed guy, so it was easy for me to kick as opposed to trying to kick with my left. Ty Smith locks it down. Dak is at ease. He was under duress, Skip. He was under pressure.
It was a big deal
all day long.
I got it.
And so that's the thing. You better get Ty Smith back, because what they're going to do is that they're going to pressure you from the blind side, because that's not his natural position. That's why those left tackles, Skip, that's why they get
that money.
That's why you see the Bakhtiaris and the Trent Williams and those guys get and the Garrett Bowles and those guys get the big paper. Because it's hell on that open side now.
I got it. So if you want to know the true blueprint to beat my Dallas Cowboys, you have to lull them to sleep.
No.
You have to show them the week going into the game that Von Miller's gone. We just dumped Von Miller. So we basically just said no mas for this season. Is that what Atlanta's going to do? Are they going to lull them to sleep? I think my team's going to be awake.
Let me tell you how to beat the Cowboys. Prosperity. They don't handle prosperity well. Everybody started talking. This team reminds me of 95. I see special. Ooh-wee. They better than what you think defensively. I see Dak and Coop and CD and this one and that one. That's your problem. You start watching television. You start reading the newspapers and on social media telling you how good you are. And you're going to the Super Bowl.
Last week
and
we fell victim.
My guys, the good guys, the Broncos. Y'all not them boys. We the boys.
Oh, you're the boys.
Bronco country.
Your coach is 17-24.
Bronco country.
You love him?
I tell you what, we got 3 Super Bowls since y'all last won none.
Really? You think Vic Fangio is going to win you Super Bowl?
No. You think Mike McCarthy going to win you one?
I'm not sure if Vic Fangio is going to last past this year. Seriously.
I mean,
I don't know.
Your guy keep going them bonehead plays and with time and his timeouts and the clock management, he won't make it past this year.
We can overcome him. We can win in spite of him.
That's what you should have did Sunday.
We have the most explosive offense in the league.
I couldn't tell.
Was shut out.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it was shut out for like 3.5 quarters. I've never seen anything like it before.
All I know
because my quarterback wasn't worth a nickel.
All I know is I spent a lot of money on pyrotechnics and ain't none of them explode on Sunday.
None of them.
That's your offense. CD Lamb, Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, Zach Martin, all those guys, Schultz, and y'all had scrubs. I thought Dak was working for waste management out there in garbage time. I said, when did the garbage people start running on Sunday? They normally come Tuesday or Wednesday. And here's Dak out there on a Sunday, trashing it up.
Keep talking.
Trashing it up. You know what it is.
You know, we're taping this. We're going to send this to the Dallas locker room. They're going to play this before the Atlanta game.
You know, they come out with the arm.
Thank you.
Dump the trash in there.
Keep going. Keep going.
That was the Broncos. Dumping trash on you.
More. We need more. Thank you. We got all that on tape. We're sending it to Jerry World.
You got the blueprint on you.
Yep.
The blueprint.
Metallic blueprint.
The Jay-Z.
That's what I love. Yep.
You know, the platinum album. The blueprint.
You picking Atlanta?
Big Fangio.
You picking your Falcons? You're from Atlanta.
Oh, Frankie V.
You picking them?
Another. Big Fangio.
Nope. I don't hear anything from your side of the table.
Is there an answer there?
I hear a lot of talk, but I don't hear any conviction. I don't hear any guts.
Hold on. We got tomorrow. We got plenty of time. Let's not rush this.
I'll hold you to it because I'm curious if you're actually going to take them.
No mercy.
Well, yesterday, the Browns officially waived Odell Beckham Jr., making him available to be claimed off waivers this afternoon. And if he goes unclaimed, Fox Bet Sportsbook has the Raiders, Ravens, Patriots, Chiefs, and Saints listed as the favorites to land OBJ. The Seahawks have also been rumored as a landing spot, and Pete Carroll threw just a little fuel on the fire yesterday by saying, quote, "You'll have to wait and see how this all goes." So, Shannon, what is your best guess on where he winds up?
I believe there are 4 teams. I believe Seattle, Green Bay, Chiefs, and Saints. I believe those are the favorite. For me, Skip, only team that's assured of getting in the playoffs is the Packers because they're going to win that division. Right now, the Chiefs are in the 7th spot. Saints on the outside looking in. Seattle's on the outside looking in. So for me, I believe the best landing spot for it would be the Chiefs because this is what we know about Green Bay. Devontae is going to get 14 targets. So how many targets would OBJ actually get? He goes to Kansas City, Skip. He's an instant upgrade over Hardman, over Pringle, over Robinson. So now he's going to get a lot of single coverage because they're going to rotate coverage towards Tyreek to keep him from taking the top off, and they're going to try to play over the top with a man underneath on Travis Kelce. So now that means he's going to get a lot of single coverage. So I like that fit the best. Because you have a quarterback. He's got to go somewhere, Skip. He can only go somewhere. Strong head coach, strong quarterback. In all the places that we're talking about, Skip, they have that. Saints have the strong head coach. Sean Payton runs that with an iron fist. So there will be no problems there. We know Chiefs and Andy, Mahomes. Green Bay, Rodgers, LaFleur. I think Aaron Rodgers can handle that situation. Russ, Pete Carroll. They mentioned the Ravens. I love John Harbaugh in that situation. Lamar Jackson. So all these are viable options. I think the Raiders, now that they have, the Raiders could be in place, Skip. They did sign Deshaun Jackson, take the place of Ruggs. His issue, he got released. But the other guys, Renfro's a slot guy, Skip. He's not getting down the field in a hurry.
Agreed.
Zay Jones and Edwards.
And right now, Hunter Renfrow is their number one.
Right.
He's their primary receiver.
But I'm not so sure if LBJ wants to go there. So for me, I'm going to say Chiefs, Seahawks, Pack, Saints.
Okay, I hear you. Before I launch on this, I'm going to be very clear. I don't believe Odell is what he used to be, and I'm not sure he ever will be again. So I'm doubtful about the pressure he's going to feel to have immediate major impact. I'm not sure he's capable of it because he got robbed of his electricity by all those injuries. It's a litany of injuries. As you know, it's the knee, it's shoulders, it's hamstrings, it's hands, ankle.
Sports hernia.
Yeah, every body part has been hurt.
Right.
He's had a rough ride, man. And he's still having a rough ride because I think his shoulder, by all accounts, in Cleveland is still bothering him.
Right.
Okay, so all of a sudden the world is saying free OBJ.
Yeah.
Well, I got it. LeBron led the charge. Free OBJ to do exactly what? And all of a sudden the hype just grows ridiculously to the point where what can you expect? I know you like him, you've mentored him, but how much can you really expect? We're talking about he's going to decide somebody's season or change somebody's season, and I don't believe he will.
Well, we're going to show that we'll be better in a new location than we were in the old location. Yeah. Just like you say, you're better with him off the field. Yep. We're going to be better on the field with somebody else.
Well, maybe the campaign really should have been free Baker.
Hey, right? No free Baker.
Right?
Free him for what?
Well, free him to be the Pro Football Focus quarterback of the week. He made first team.
I don't know how he did that.
All-Pro. First team All-Pro for the week. How did he do that?
I don't know, because Justin Herbert, you see, was just hurt. But let me ask you a question.
Interesting.
Is that labrum still torn? Does he still have that? Because I noticed when he loses, he got a torn labrum. That he got a fracture in his upper arm. I ain't hear nothing about no leg or no arm all day Sunday
because
and all day Monday.
Sucked it up and gutted it out and played through it.
But you notice when he lose, he don't suck it up. He up there, I can't, I don't know if I can go.
All right. Well, all I know is last year, coincidentally, I guess, according to you, that at Cincinnati, Odell got hurt. I'm knocking on wood for him.
Thanks to an interception by Baker.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Trying to make a tackle.
And after that, after he went out of the game, Baker completed 21 straight passes, a Cleveland Browns record, and he ended up throwing 5 touchdown passes in that game, including the game-winning touchdown late in that game, and he took off. And he won 8 of the next 11 games, and Pro Football Focus ranked him the 4th best quarterback in grades over those last 11 games, including a playoff win at Pittsburgh. I don't know. Something happened where all of a sudden Baker, it was free Baker.
No.
Free Baker.
Chubb and Hunt.
They got it. They got that. They got a great offensive line, but all of a sudden the ball got spread to all the receivers because you can't win in this league without throwing the football, and they were winning. And all of a sudden they went to Cincinnati, and you thought it was Cincinnati's game, and I said, no, cloud has been lifted. All of a sudden, Baker is free to throw it around to spread the wealth.
So tell the people who was a Pro Football Focus Defensive Player of the Week.
I don't know.
Denzel Ward, you do know. You do know. And the player of the game, but that game was who? The right guard, Zyler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it? Why you ain't talking about that? You keep on talking about what Baker did, but they had 2 other players on that team that was rated very high by Pro Football Focus.
But of all the quarterbacks, Lamar, and you mentioned Justin Herbert, there were a lot of good quarterback performances, and Baker, they graded the highest.
People at home can't
with no Odell. Believe it or not, no Odell.
Justin Herbert was 32 of 38 for 356 and 3 touchdowns, and was 16 of 16 against zone.
And almost lost to Jalen Hurts.
Almost. Why they do that? I ain't seen that in the column yet. I see dubs and I ain't seen almost yet.
I told you Jalen Hurts was legit for real, and he showed it again.
He won 2 games.
Yep.
He legit.
No, he almost won that game.
He too legit to win.
Yeah, is he?
I don't know. You tell me. You keep hyping him.
Biggest threat to the Dallas Cowboys is Jalen Hurts.
Man, stop it.
Told you.
Ain't no threat. Stop it.
Okay, so I also told you, I first guessed this, that I believe the Raiders are most in play to land Odell. And I have no idea. I don't know Odell's camp. Maybe you've heard something from Odell from the camp. But I am hearing that it's between Seattle and the Raiders, because Seattle could just flat out, again, you heard Pete Carroll, he's indicating he might just claiming.
Yeah.
And
because you got Metcalf and Lockett, and now you got OBJ in play.
I don't know if Odell wants to get claimed because he would feel a little sort of captive where he has to go up there, right, and make it work. And I don't know if that's his mindset.
Right. At the end of the day, Skip, and they kind of put this, $4.25 million roster bonus in there to deter teams from claiming him. So he was like, okay, go unclaimed, and now I get to choose my destination.
I got it.
Therefore, you choose your destination, and it doesn't work out. Who at fault, Skip?
There you go, right?
Yeah, because now, so Skip, and still, if he gets claimed, man, Odell ain't want to be there. Man, they ain't have no chance. They don't know how to use Odell.
I got it.
Odell gets an opportunity, if he goes unclaimed, to choose his landing spot.
Okay, well, if I could choose for him, I would choose Derek Carr, because I believe Derek Carr it works very well with wide receivers, and I think he would respect Derek, and Derek would respect him.
I would choose Green Bay.
Okay.
Just in case.
Okay. Well, I thought you were so down on Aaron Rodgers, one of the worst leaders in the history of pro football.
He is. He's all sure? But I'm more down on your team.
He's a bigger diva than Odell is.
I'm more down on your team.
On which team?
Both of them.
Well, I don't know which teams you're talking about right now.
You got two teams. You know which two teams you got.
Oh, I got Cowboys and Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the point is, the Raiders are still desperate for wideouts because Deshaun's an aging player who can still run by people. Deep threat.
Right.
At least he's a threat, if nothing else.
Right.
Well, he's not a number one receiver.
Right.
Odell would go in there as the clear-cut number one.
Yeah.
And you can
he's
move,
definitely an upgrade of the
and you can move Hunter Renfrow back to the slot, and you still got Darren Waller, who actually operates as sort of a hybrid wide receiver anyway.
He does.
And all of a sudden, you might have a little bit of a flying circus going on. You know, you might have an aerial show.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they play Kansas City this week.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we go. I just like the fit there. And do I think Rich Bisaccia is a strong... No, I just think he lays back and lets him play.
But I think the thing is, now, Skip, in this situation, Odell, he has to be on his best behavior because for whatever reason, it didn't work in Cleveland.
Yep.
He had a great situation at the Giants, and it didn't work. So at some point in time, you can't keep blaming the organization when the common denominator is the player.
Okay,
I believe he'll be on his best behavior.
He better be.
And we're going to see.
Okay, we're going to see. So I think city fit is as important as team fit with Odell.
Win fit.
Okay, but city fit is got to be Big Apple. That blew up. Got to be L.A. Nothing out there right now for him.
Right.
Next fit to me is Vegas, baby. You know, he would feel like a star in Las Vegas. And it would fit him. It would fit his aura, his mystique, his brand. It would work in Las Vegas. Seattle, not so much. Green Bay, definitely not. He'd be unhappy in Green Bay. Odell doesn't fit in Green Bay.
Kansas City. Gates barbecue out there, good old barbecue out there.
Yeah, you think so? I like Kansas City. I don't think Odell would.
He like winning? You want to win?
Well, yes.
Okay, then.
Well, does he need a ring to validate? Sure he does.
Yeah.
Is he capable of helping a team win a ring? I don't think so.
Maybe he could play. Maybe he could play safety and keep Sorensen off the field to increase 49ers.
Well, you're down on number 49, aren't you?
Skip, you know that man terrible. You can play DB better than him.
I might.
Everything. Somehow the ball find him.
I could cover Lazard better. At least I could make a play on Lazard. He got faked off his feet by Lazard after the catch. Really?
How does every time the man he's covering, the ball finds the man he's covering? In Buffalo, the Giants.
He has had his moments. He's been a pretty good player. It feels like he's on his last legs now.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. If he ever had legs, he on whatever they are. He look like he got to run like he got a wooden leg.
I don't know. Andy must love him.
He must.
I love that. No mercy. Nikola Jokic was ejected with a little under 3 minutes remaining, and the Nuggets win over the Heat yesterday. The reigning MVP shoved Markieff Morris in the back in retaliation for a hard foul at midcourt, but afterwards showed some remorse, saying, quote, "It's a stupid play. I feel bad. I am not supposed to react that way. I just needed to protect myself." But still, Miami head coach Eric Spoelstra defended Morris, saying Jokic was, quote, absolutely uncalled for and described it as a very dangerous and dirty play. So, Shannon, I start with you. Do you agree with Spoelstra here?
One cheap shot deserves another. You can't cheap shot me when I cheap shot your ass back. You talking about, it could have been dangerous. Why would you foul in that situation? Skip, you already know. When you want to give up a foul, all you got to do is just run to the... Keith didn't have to foul the man like that. So when the man retaliated, this could have been a dangerous play. Well, so could your play. So, and as I tweeted last night, one dirty play deserves another. And that's what you got. And so this is not like we all of a sudden like, man, that's so far out of the Morris twins. They don't play basketball like that. They do.
Yes, they do.
And so Jokic was well within it.
Maybe Marcus more than
Marcus a little bit more than Keith. But Jokic was well within his right to protect himself. Skip, he's dribbling the ball up the court. If you wanted the foul to stop the clock, just run over there, hit him on the arm, and we booming. Look, come on, man, that ain't no basketball play. So Jokic says, okay, I'm gonna do a football play on you since you want to do one on me. And yeah, he was relaxed because he thought it was all good. I hip checked him, hard fouled him, and it's all good. So I got no problem. I have 1,000. I want to be clear. I want to make sure I'm abundantly clear. I want to make sure I'm crystal clear. I have no problem whatsoever what Nikola Jokic did in retaliation to what Markieff Morris did to him. One cheap shot deserves another.
Okay. To Jokic's credit, afterwards he said it was a stupid play on my part. He said, I think it was a dirty play, but I just needed to protect myself. I felt bad. I am not supposed to react that way, but I need to protect myself.
Exactly.
Agreed. It was really cheap the way Jokic reacted because Markieff was not facing him. It wasn't a face-to-face. You will not get away with that. And Spoelstra said the whole thing could have been much uglier if Markieff was actually facing Jokic. Well, now we got a throwdown. What are you going to do if you're going face-to-face to retaliate?
Right.
Well, you're going to have to raise your fists, right?
Let me ask you a question, though, Skip. In that juncture of the game was already out of hand. Why did Keith need to foul him that hard? Why did he need to foul him at all? I mean, why you just... It
was a take foul, as they say, right? Skip, but you can just...
Exactly.
You just slap his hand, do
Thank
something.
You come check the man like that. And what do they say about Jokic? Get physical with him. The same thing they say about Luka Doncic. The same thing they've said about all European players.
Correct.
Get physical with him. So Jokic says, you know what? Okay, well, this is what I'm going to do back.
Bingo. And why did he feel empowered to retaliate that way? Because he won the MVP last year. He is the reigning MVP. So he finally went over the edge and he snapped because he said, I've been in this league for a long time and I just won the MVP and I've had enough of this. And you're not going to just come up and cheap shot me because you think I'll never retaliate. So I think he was not sending a message just to Markieff. He was sending it to the league.
Yes.
I'm not going to take this anymore.
He should.
And it was a cheap shot, and he got him good. He lowered shoulder and forearm, and he shivered him right in the back. And he snapped his head back and gave him a little whiplash. And I hope Markieff is okay. They brought out the stretcher for him, but then he walked to the locker room, and they said he was having a little bit of a neck issue. And Jokic said, I saw his head snap back. So he felt... I think he felt genuinely bad that he nailed him. Like
got him good.
Right? He got him good. Good. He really
just like me, Skip. I'm dribbling up the court, and you come sideswipe me. Yeah, Skip, probably a rear end hurts more than a T-bone, but if both of them are unexpected, they hurt just the same. So guess what? You T-bone me, I rear-ended you. Okay, we good. We change insurance cards, we going about our day.
And as quote-unquote soft as Jokic might be, or his reputation might have him be, he's still 7 feet tall.
Yes.
And he's a big old raw-boned guy who can deliver a blow when he wants to, and he can use his body beneath the rim to hip check people and to create space and rebound as a below-the-rim rebounder.
Because, Skip, when the Lakers played him 2 years ago in the Western Conference Final, Dwight Howard gave him fist because Dwight was physical.
Yep.
That's the MO on players. What do they say to do, Luka? Get physical with him.
Rough him up. Well, what Dwight do? Remember that classic game on November 1st of 2 years ago?
He got him with the elbow.
He got him right with the elbow, and it pretty much took Luka out of the game.
And thing is,
Skip, it was the Danny Green game when Danny won it from the corner.
The three-pointer, sent it to overtime. Skip, if you look at it, Jokic trying to pass the ball. He jumps up in there, and the dude comes and side swipes him.
Well,
could that have ended bad for Jokic? Could Jokic have got hurt for that?
Sure.
I'm jumping up in there, you sideswipe me? So you only, I get it. Protect your players. But guess who's going to protect me? Me. Because I'll get him back.
Okay. So I agree with Spoelstra. It was a very dangerous and dirty play. I got it.
Both of them.
Both
of them, exactly. Both of them.
And yet, hypothetically, what if Markieff had turned to face him, knowing Markieff was oblivious to it because he thought it's Jokic. He never retaliates on anybody.
Exactly.
So he goes and hammers him, and then he just walks away like, nothing's going to come of this.
Right.
Because there are certain people in his league, if you tried to take foul them like that, you better turn and be ready because you're going to have to defend yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
But he thought Yoke was soft. He was going to get a hard foul on him and just turn and walk away.
Just walk away. Like next.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't foul. Come on, man. You don't foul nobody like that.
Woo.
Come on.
Okay. So hypothetically, what if he had just stood his ground? What happens? What does Yoke do? Does he just get in his face?
I don't know
if Markieff had turned to him to say, "You got something for me?"
Well, if they had done that, they would have called a technical foul on him. Because then that would have been a flagrant. I believe they'd have called. If he had hard shoved him and just stood there.
No. What if Markieff had done the hard take foul and then just turned and stood like you want to talk about it?
I believe the officials would have called a flagrant on him.
On Markieff? Really?
Yes,
okay.
I do. And I don't think Yoke would have retaliated.
Okay. Because if it became a face-to-face confrontation, I don't think anything's going to become of that.
I don't think Yoke would have retaliated. But since he turned his back, he said, well, I give you a cheap shot also. And Yoke got it good, too. I mean, Yoke wound that thing up. Mm-hmm. It was like a, look at Yoke. Oh, yeah.
Whiplashed him.
Yeah.
Well.
You hard foul me. I'm jumping up in there to pass the ball. You come sideswipe me, and you think that's cool.
What did they always say? What's the classic way to stop a bully? You just go punch him right in the mouth. Yep. And then say, next, ready?
I don't get out like that. Okay, I understand. Look, I understand the NBA. There's take fouls, and I understand sometimes the hard foul. But nah, you're not finna hard foul me. Don't think I ain't gonna get you back. What? And a hard foul, in that situation, game's over. Game over.
Yeah, Denver won this game easily.
Yeah. The game's over.
A Heat that's coming to play your Lakers tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Here we go. You got something for him?
We might have a little something for him.
Really?
Might have a little something for him.
Yeah, you gonna rough up Markieff?
Well, I'm just hoping Kyle Lowry plays as bad tomorrow night as he did last night.
I got a feeling he will not play that poorly.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I can hope.
Well, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I think Jokic just sent a message to the rest of the league. I'm not that guy anymore. Yeah,
I mean, y'all look at the crew cut and think y'all just go walk over me.
Yep.
Yeah, I ain't a pair of shoes. I ain't no slippers.
Nope.
You ain't just finna walk with me.
Nope.
Yeah, get him, Yoke. Let him know.
Yeah.
Hey, now I know how you really feel.
No mercy.
Whether directly or indirectly, LeBron just took a page out of Michael Jordan's book, while MJ's personal Jordan brand logo has appeared on Michigan and UCLA uniforms. The Kings trademark logo will appear on a college uniform for the first time, being featured on Florida A&M's basketball jerseys. How about that? Shannon, how big of a deal is this?
It's a big deal. Bigger deal if he had done this at Savannah State. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look out for your boy, LeBron. Look, Skip, this is a big deal. This is an extremely rare thing because, as Jenny was mentioning in the lead, is that only Jordan can say that I've had my logo on an official uniform. Skip, guys have celebrity golf tournaments or celebrity basketball games, and they'll put their logo on that uniform. But to have that logo on a uniform at a college or major university, Jordan actually has his logo on NBA teams. So Jordan set the blueprint of how to go about and build a brand. And a lot of guys from Kobe to LeBron and guys coming out to Shaq had his dunk man have come along and says, okay, this is what I want to be. Jordan set the blueprint, Skip. I don't believe any player will ever get bigger than Jordan because he had such a head start. That Jordan, Skip, is just so iconic. But for LeBron to be able to do this, but LeBron is taking it a step further. LeBron is not only going to apparel, LeBron is going to, he's in TVs, he does movies. He has a production company. So this is a huge, huge deal. But FAMU was the first, is the first, but they won't be the last.
Really?
No. No. Right now, as we speak.
Savannah State is next.
Don't think we ain't working on it.
Really?
Yep.
So I have a larger question here. I've never understood the King logo. You're the king of what?
You
exactly?
know what it is.
I don't know. Are you the king of the NBA Finals because you're 4-6?
We're the king. King James.
Jordan is
King James.
6-0 in the finals.
Skip, he got Air Jordan. He got Jumpman. Let us have the king. We're not bothering anybody. Shaq got Dunkman. Kobe got Mamba. Let us have ours.
Okay, so I guess if you're still chasing that ghost of Michael Jordan, you got to start somewhere. And for the record, I'm a big fan of Florida A&M because Florida A&M gave my Dallas Cowboys Bob Hayes and Nate Newton.
Yep.
And Florida A&M has had a long legacy of
the Rattlers,
stars in many sports, Vince Coleman in baseball, Althea Gibson. I can go on and on. There's quite a legacy there. But LeBron, to my knowledge, has no connection to Florida A&M. I don't know any. No. So I thought, it'd be more impressive if you told me that the King logo was now worn by The Ohio State because that's LeBron's quote-unquote school
I think
in his home state.
I think Nike, maybe Jordan does something occasionally. But I think the thing is, Skip, what we've seen with Chris Paul and guys like LeBron and J.R. Smith going back to an HBCU, what we're seeing is that we're giving these guys faces. Black colleges are being more prominent, put to the front because of guys like LeBron, because of guys like Chris Paul. So this is huge.
Okay, I got it. But you're a big fan of Alabama. I'm not sure why, because you grew up in Georgia. But you're a big fan of Alabama. Well, are they going to go with the King logo?
No. Skip. Okay. Skip. At some point in time, damn, you want them to get all the money. Alabama already brings in probably $200 million a year in sports revenue. Nike paying them. Let some of these small black colleges get some of these bread.
I got it. But I grew up in Oklahoma, so I'm a huge Oklahoma Sooner fan. Do you think the Sooners are going to wear King logos?
No,
I don't think so.
They're with Jordan.
Oh, that's
true.
Jordan. But everybody's with Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan's everywhere.
Skip,
as you said, it's even across the NBA is the Jordan logo.
Skip, like I said, that's why I'm saying it's going to be hard for somebody to overtake him because he's had such a big head start. Yeah. Usain Bolt's already the fastest man. You're not getting spotting him 30 yards and beating him in 100 meters.
I think you just spotted the real king, Michael Jordan. I think you just spotted him 99 meters, right?
Yeah. Skip, we understand that.
Yes.
But for LeBron, but here's the thing, but for LeBron to get this, it's a start. Jordan started with the logo, and then it was on 1, and then it was 2, and then it was 3, not 4, and not colleges, not NBA teams. You see NBA players wearing the Jordan brand cleats. Yeah. It's just a matter of time. For LeBron, hey, LeBron, get them cleats going, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
For you?
Nah, the NFL. No. I just want the King logo on the Savannah State.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, we'll take him at Vanderbilt.
No.
Especially our football team.
First of all, Skip, that's a disgrace for him to put that logo on Vanderbilt football team. Yes.
Oh, how about the baseball program, the best baseball program in America?
Y'all got the brakes beat off y'all last year.
Well, we got there, didn't we?
We
got to the national finals.
You told me that ain't good enough.
Yet again.
Hold on. So is that the case? Oh, go James. He got there 10 times.
Huh. Well, 10 times. It would have been fitting to have that King logo last year because we were runner-up. No. So that's the King is runner-up.
If Bron gonna put him on black colleges. Yep. Yeah, black colleges, universities, HBCUs.
Yep. Okay.
I'm all for that.
Okay.
Savannah State need to be next, though.
I'm all for that, too, but he's got a long way to go to catch Jordan.
We ain't trying to catch him, Skip.
Yeah, I think you were trying.
Skip, here's the thing. This is the way I look at it, Skip. This plate table set. We can all eat. I ain't even got to eat off your plate. Okay. But there's enough food on the table for us all to eat.
Okay. And help me out one last time. Yeah. You're the king of what?
You know what he is.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. You're the king of what? The king of?
Whatever you wanted to be.
The self-proclaimed king.
No. King James. You get mad at Sports Illustrated. They dubbed him King James. They dubbed him the Chosen One.
Well, he ran with it.
Okay.
I don't think they dubbed him Chosen One. I think he'd already had it tattooed on his back.
No, he didn't.
I believe he had.
No, he didn't get that until they dubbed him the Chosen One. Hey, didn't somebody give him Air Jordan? They used to call him Mike Jordan. They called him Mike Jordan. Yeah. And then they called him Air Jordan. Okay. And he went with Air.
Yeah. Okay.
MJ.
I never heard him call himself Air Jordan.
He don't call himself the king.
I've never seen him tweet hashtag Air Jordan.
He ain't got no account. He ain't got no account. And a lot of LeBron friends call him LJ.
Yeah. Okay. So So it's like LJ is like MJ, like they're trying to compete.
The man named LeBron James. Skip. A lot of people go by initials.
The man's name is Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
They call him MJ. Yeah. They call him Mike. Most of the time, most people call him Mike.
Some people just call him God. Just be done with it.
Well, we the king. Yeah. We're right here on earth. We the king.
Yeah. Are you?
Yep.
King of your mind? I don't know.
Skip, you got to get this out your heart.
Yeah. I think everybody's got to get it out of their heart.
No, they don't. Everybody's
wondering you're the king of what?
Ain't nobody wondering.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
I mean, you pray, you go to church, you understand, go to church, you pray.
Okay, you're not even the king of L.A. anymore.
Who is?
Well, that would be Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, Skip.
And by the way, just a quick note, just a little breaking news here. I was informed just yesterday that Kawhi will not be back this year.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, there's supposed to be a real good shot, but it was more the Clippers' choice. They just said, let's shut it down for the rest of the year. So you don't have to worry about Kawhi.
I was never worried.
As bad as the Lakers are, they still got a shot because they don't have to deal with the Clippers. So congratulations, you just cleared the decks here in L.A. It's yours for one more year.
Didn't Round say we run this town?
Yep. Kawhi will be
run
back
this town tonight.
Yep.
Okay, we did.
Kawhi will be back next October for another run at a championship.
Another run, good luck. Yep. He been running. I mean, how long he been here? And he ain't got it yet?
Yep.
Damn.
Here we go.
Feels like a long time to wait.
Long as it. When they got a man worth $100 billion. I think only 10 of them in the whole world.
Well, the truth is, LeBron may still be fighting with his abdominal strain by next October.
There you go, hating on the might be fighting to lift that ring up to 5.
Really?
Weird, that commercial with the little king.
Yeah, you see that shit?
They don't air that.
You see what you did, Skip Bayless? You took a shot at the king. And my grandma used to say, boy, God don't like ugly. Sometimes he don't like pretty. Yeah, when you take a shot at the king, the man up high, he looked down low. That's his child.
Yep.
You messing with his child.
Oh, he is the chosen one. He's God's chosen one.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I did not know that. I didn't learn that in church.
God's not getting involved in Lakers Clippers right now.
No mercy.
This week, the most electrifying player in the league is on Thursday Night Football. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens square off against the Dolphins. It all starts at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. Well, professor, author, and friend of the show, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, has a new book out, Entertaining Race, Performing Blackness in America. And we are so lucky to have him joining us today to discuss it. Doc, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, and congrats on the book. Thank you for sending me a copy. I look forward to reading it, but really appreciate the time today.
Thank you so very much always for having me. Thank you.
And Doc, it is a pleasure once again to have an esteemed professor from the best school in America, Vanderbilt University, here on Undisputed. Welcome, Vanderbilt.
You better say it. The greatest school in America. Go ahead and say it.
Thank you. So, Michael Eric Dyson, I have read your book. I believe it is your best book yet. It has a complex but very powerful premise, the essence of which is that historically, and in many cases tragically, white people have forced or at least encouraged black people to perform for them, to entertain them. Could I please hand the ball back to you and have you expand on this premise?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words and always your generosity and graciousness for hosting me. Yes, absolutely right. I begin the book with a story of a young black enslaved girl, 14, 15 years old, and she's hung upside down by one ankle with barely a loincloth in the middle, and she is whipped to death. And at trial, Captain Kimber, taken to trial for her death and the death of another young lady, it is discovered that he beat her to death because she refused to perform. And so that performance necessity, that performance predicate has been a universal basis for recognizing black identity. Black people have to perform. They have to perform in the broader culture, in enslavement, on the slave ship, on stage. And we've been performing ever since in different areas of American society, different genres of American society, and different roles, whether we're a world-famous football player like our brother Shannon Sharpe, or whether we are Martin Luther King Jr. or Barack Obama or Beyonce or Eartha Kitt, or other entertainers, we are performing. But every day black people perform as well. At our jobs in corporate America, when people touch our hair or ask us questions about our identity, or microaggressions when we're in the street and people see us drinking water or selling lemonade and ask us to account for ourselves as American citizens in ways they don't do others. So we're constantly being asked to perform and to entertain the idea of race. We are entertaining about it. We are entertaining the ideal of race, and we have been forced to be the entertainment. So that's what I'm trying to talk about in this book.
Doc, you mentioned the entertainment of race, and it had to go to American and blacks. Why is race such a central theme in American history?
Another great question. I think, excuse me, I think it's so central because America has grappled from the very beginning with what it means to be a black human being the moment those 20-some-odd souls were extracted from their native haunts in Africa, brought here to Jamestown, from a continent where they had different tribal languages and different ideas, and brought here to America, forced unity, forced solidarity. And from that moment on, this nation has wrestled grievously and often bloodily with the issue of race, of who is on top. What is the hierarchy? What is the value of whiteness versus blackness versus being indigenous versus being Latinx? So we have struggled from the very beginning with what it means to have a race and to be a race. And that lineage and that impact continues to manifest itself today when we see all of these vicious arguments about whether blackness will be shown in school or whether critical race theory will be taught in school and how we are to treat young white kids and young black kids and young brown kids. So all of that stuff is central to who we are as a nation, and we have barely escaped the bloody lineage of our differences as well as our attempts to overcome those differences to forge a union.
So compare and contrast two of the greatest black entertainers, Michael Jackson and Prince, and how they evolved as entertainers. They went in different directions, which you write about so eloquently in the book. Please expand on that.
Yes, sir. Well, when you think about, Michael Joseph Jackson and Prince Rodgers Nelson, born both in 1958, the year I was born. I'm not suggesting that there's greatness in that year. I'm just suggesting I was born the same year. So was Madonna. So let's just complete the quadruple slam there. Look, Michael Jackson was a child prodigy, the likes of which we hadn't seen since, I don't know, Mozart. Here's a guy who's at 6, 7, 8 years old, singing in a way and in a fashion that he was manifesting such extraordinary prescience for the musical idioms that he would master. He's listening at 7 and 8 years old. I like William Hart. Nobody even knows who William Hart is. Oh, he's the lead singer for the Delphonics. So Michael Jackson develops in the middle of the country, in the Midwest, a genius of performance with his brothers, but developing a powerhouse voice from the age of 10 to 21 at his height, and was extraordinary. Prince, on the other hand, himself an extraordinary genius, playing every musical instrument that we might imagine, and by the age of 18, making his first album, and then from there as a composer, as a singer, as a dancer, changing the drift of American music in such a pronounced and extraordinary fashion. So Michael, as body of work and performer, extraordinary genius. Prince Rodgers Nelson, in a different fashion of the kind of eclectic musical taste he had as a rock musician, as a blues musician, and as a American pop singer. They both exemplify extraordinary moments of black performance.
Doc, we had you on several times since the George Floyd, and now we have a very similar situation in my state, Georgia. The trial, the case of two men murdered Ahmaud Arbery. Are those two men on trial, or are the institution on trial?
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think the institutions are certainly on trial. We know that the three men, the father and son, McMichaels, who killed Ahmaud Arbery, and the third white man who claimed at first to be an observer, but really was a participant. What a metaphor for so many people who wash their hands of the sins of white supremacy by claiming they were only there and not participating, when indeed they ended up blocking the path of Ahmaud Arbery to escape, and therefore blocking the path of black progress. Yeah, the institutions of America on trial. Why did it take so long to arrest these men? They were in deep with the local, prosecutor. As a result of that, they weren't looked at. They were allowed to leave the scene of a crime, having murdered a man who was unarmed, his only crime being black and running through a neighborhood. So yes, we are really looking again at our institutions. And why do we say this? 12 jurors, only one of them African American. In this day and age, this update of a Jim Crow sensibility is unacceptable in our American justice system.
So, Doc, take your premise to today's entertainment in our society. And to me, sort of the final irony here is that over the years, a lot of white people realized that a lot of black people can entertain better than the white people can. See pro football, pro basketball, see how many white kids love hip hop. See our friend Lil Wayne tell me that a lot of his concerts, he looks into the audience and he can only see white faces, right? So a lot of black stars realized they could make or accumulate great wealth on this premise that your book is about, right?
Yes. No, that's an extremely powerful point. And that is the fact that, you know, doing what we do, achieving it. And I'm glad you said it that way because, you know, not recognizing the hard work that goes into black performance is one of the cardinal sins of looking at black performance, as if black people naturally do it. You know, Michael Jordan was naturally gifted. Larry Bird had to work hard. And when we look at it that way, we see that we denied the genius of Michael Jordan, of Kobe Bryant, of LeBron James. Look at LeBron James taking care of his body on that Tom Brady level, on that Kobe level of it. That's extraordinarily hard work. And for every black person that can sing and dance, there's 50 of them who can't. For every black person who can throw a ball and catch a pigskin, there's 1,000 who can't. So the point is, this is extraordinary work. This is an accident of history necessitated by the demand of black performance that we got good at what we were mandated to do. And so those black performers look out and see a sea of white faces, especially in blues. You hardly see any black faces in blues music being supported, right? And the blues musicians ain't gonna kick no white folk out of their audiences because they want to get paid and they want to sustain that. They want to sustain their practice. But having said that, it also gives a responsibility to the black performer. You know, Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Sam Cooke, Eartha Kitt, Lena Horne, they were conscious of the fact, if I have the ear of white America, let me fill it with something other than music. The music of democratic process, small d. The music of democracy, the music of truth, the music of racial harmony, the music of fighting white supremacy. If I capture them, as the great Harry Belafonte says, Paul Robeson told him, if you can get them to sing your song, they will listen to your message. And hearing our song or looking at us on the field, if we see them performing out there, then we have a better sense of who we are as a people, and we can begin to convince people who otherwise would not pay attention to the masses of black people to have a different thought about them. Black performers have an extraordinary opportunity and burden as well.
You mentioned something very interesting, Doc, and you said about that Michael Jordan was talented, but Larry Bird was a student of the game. He worked hard. Lamar Jackson is talented, but this guy studies the game. Why has it been for so long they've been so dismissive? Is that we get somewhere just because we're talented, that we're not thoughtful, that we're not insightful, that we don't work hard, that God just blessed us with this ability to be able to do this, where someone else, they worked harder. They don't have the talent, but they worked harder than what we did, and that's why they're there, and we're just there because of our ability.
Yeah, that's another great point. And look, you know, when you're a darker black person, not yellow like me and Drake and Steph Curry, you know, we're yellow Negroes. You know, they try to redeem the yellow man. Thank God, somebody got to bring us back. Somebody got to bring us back, because we've been getting smashed by the beautiful, handsome, dark-skinned black men like Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes and Michael Jordan put us on the map.
Michael Jordan put y'all on the map, and Wesley Snipes, and Wesley put y'all up, and Denzel. Okay, so the point is that look, when you look at, you know, obviously black men and women, and you look at the Southern and hear the Southern accent, they look at Lamar Jackson because he's talking the way he talks, because he was raised the way he was raised, because of the area of the country in which he was reared. The genius of this man, looking at schemes, being able to anticipate what defenses are disguising themselves to try to get over on him, being able to run for 100 yards in a game twice this year already, and being able to stay in that pocket and toss that pill or to chuck that pigskin with lethal accuracy. He is never given the kind of credit that a Justin Herbert will be given. He is never given the kind of credit that a Tom Brady will be given, you know. So the point is that because of the surplus of gifts and the extraordinary genius that comes together in that one body, we can't see that style and substance comes together. Michael Jordan put the ball through his legs. Vince Carter did the same thing, but they still scored 2 points. The substance is the points. The leading scorer in the NBA's history before LeBron takes it over is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Substance. That's more points than Rick Barry. That's more points than Pete Maravich. That's more points than Larry Bird. So the substance is there, but the style is there. Sky Hook, Magic Johnson, baby Sky Hook. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter in the game with the three-pointer, and so on and so on. So we've got to reconcile style and substance. Because I can say it interestingly, and I can make a mockery of what is obtuse and what is uninteresting, don't be mad at me for having skill at the same time. I can say it with style, and I can do it with intelligence. Martin Luther King Jr. could have said 5 score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. He said 5 score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Now tell me which one you want to listen to. Of course it's the latter. So you can get skill and style at the same time, and that's what black performance at its best does.
By the way, Doc, I've told Shannon, I think Lamar Jackson is a savant. I think he is operating on a genius level that he's not getting enough credit for. Right. And by the way, everywhere I turn, another black quarterback is on the rise. We saw Justin Fields. We saw Jordan Love the day before. And I look at college football. I look at Alabama and Ohio State and Oklahoma. And what do they have? Great young black quarterbacks. Okay.
Yes. No, it's a great point. And that's why, and I know I don't know if we're going to get to this on the Aaron Rodgers tip.
We're going to
Aaron
just
Rodgers
a moment.
As a guy, but all that black intelligence out there, and look, it's opportunity. Did black people all of a sudden get smarter? Did Warren Moon not have the skills? He wasn't allowed to do what he did. If Warren Moon had played in the NFL for the 8 years he played in the CFL, he'd have more yards than Tom Brady and anybody else. So the point, even though Tom is my man, let's recognize the GOAT. Let's just say that for a minute. But the point is that, of course, when you have opportunity bred with talent, you have genius at a certain level, and that's right. And I think that brilliant point you just made, Brother Bayless, that a savant, this guy is out there like Rain Man.
He's Rain Man.
With, you know.
Yep.
All right, boy, Doc, whenever you're on our show, I just wonder how much I would have enjoyed sitting and listening to you as a student. Boy, those students at Vanderbilt, pretty lucky to have you, and we do have so much more to talk about. No mercy. Aaron Rodgers is looking to return to the field this weekend against the Seahawks after missing Sunday's loss to the Chiefs due to COVID protocols. Rodgers is eligible to rejoin the team on Saturday, but may have to answer some questions from teammates when he does, especially after he invoked Martin Luther King during an interview this past week when defending his decision to not get vaccinated. Michael Eric Dyson still with us, and I know you have been following this storyline very closely. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, there's no question that Aaron Rodgers is one of the most gifted quarterbacks we've ever seen in the history of this game. Some say, pound for pound, the most gifted. I think Patrick Mahomes may be edging him out for that spot now. Of course, Tom Brady's still the GOAT. But it's disappointing to see both the treatment of, Aaron Rodgers and the kid gloves with which he's treated and the degree to which he's willing to go to be smarmy and self-righteous and condescending. It's exposing all of the worst traits that he possesses, right? I mean, it's great to be cool and the coolest guy in the room and the smartest, and you sit back and you make, commentary that shows that you're above the fray. You got your man bun on this year, hanging out in the wilderness, sending picks back, and then you come back in easily into the game and you show Jordan Love who's the real man. I'm the top dog. I get it. It's all good and it's lovely. The problem is that Aaron Rodgers, by saying the woke mob is after me, as a result of what I did. No, you're a liar. We jumped, rightfully so, on Kyrie Irving for, I think, his, missing a grand opportunity to serve your team and to be a great teammate by being available, as you all often quote, the best ability is availability. Yep. And Kyrie Irving, not because of some disease, but because of your reaction to a vaccine, you failed to embrace that vaccine and therefore make a championship potential team come into existence. So we rightfully criticize him. Much more for Aaron Rodgers. At least Kyrie Irving said, I ain't took that vaccine. I don't want to take it. I'm trying to represent for those who are forced to take it, who don't want to have to take it. Aaron Rodgers did something far more deleterious, far more destructive. He's disingenuous. He's dishonest. He led us to believe he had taken it. He suggested that he had been immunized. And in our language and vocabulary, we assume the only way you can get immunized is not through ivermectin or mectin or whatever that is, or through some horse drug. It's through the fact that you got what Fauci and Kizzmekia Corbett, Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett, who came up, the black woman who came up with the Moderna. You took one of those, or even the Johnson & Johnson one shot. No, you had no shot. You led us to believe that you had done something there, and then got angry and dismissive when you caught COVID. And then potentially, is it why Davante Adams had it in the first place? Was he hanging around Aaron Rodgers? We don't know. So I think his disingenuous character, his dishonest nature, his smarmy self-righteousness, and assaulting the woke mob. Now you're sounding like a guy of white privilege who's incapable of understanding what his own responsibility is, and you get above it because you're a white guy, and then you quote Martin Luther King Jr., one of the wokest human beings on earth, against the so-called woke mob. And look, I got problems with narrow interpretations of righteousness when it comes to race or sexual orientation or sexuality or gender. I get that. But in this case, Aaron Rodgers is unforgivably obtuse. He is incapable of understanding his own white privilege, and he needs to be taken to school 101. Going back onto the field after disobeying the fundamental precepts of the NFL at this point, and then, our man Colin Kaepernick can't even get a shot, can't even get a ball in the air, can't even get a tryout. And Aaron Rodgers continues to do what he does. Just on a matter of principle, it's highly problematic.
Well, you and I are in accordance with this because a lot of the words you use to describe him, I've been using words to describe Aaron Rodgers for like the last 5 or 6 years. The problem that I had a lot of problems with, but the main one was the misquoting of Dr. King. For him to equate him not wearing a mask, him violating the mask ordinance in his own building is the equivalent of what Dr. King was fighting for in the 60s, when there is no chance that Aaron Rodgers would be assassinated, which Dr. King lost his life, that Aaron Rodgers would be stabbed, which Dr. King was, no chance that the dogs and fire hoses would be sick on Aaron Rodgers. He has not, and it will not. For him to equate you wearing a mask because you're unvaccinated, and you led people to be to think you weren't vaccinated for the simple fact, Skip, he was walking around with no mask, so people assumed he was so cavalier. I'm Aaron Rodgers. I can do this. It's my moral obligation to object to rules that I think are dumb. That's not what Dr. King did.
No, not at all.
And he's so...
Not at all. Look, let me pick that baton up very quickly. Not only did Dr. King not do that, Dr. King said, I'm willing to pay the price for the rule breaking that I'm willing to do to challenge American society to be better. I'm willing to go to jail because I believe my cause is above the law that dictates my limited mobility in this country. So to use Dr. King, and I can feel Dr. King coming into me now. What is he saying? Now, Aaron, you have abused my words. You've got to pay. I had a dream. You've got a scheme, and it's not going.
There you go. Bingo.
So the thing is that it's manipulative, it's deceitful, it's disingenuous, and any other word you can think of, and to mislead us to believe that you had done what you claimed you didn't do. And then he said, I'm not going to judge other guys. Oh, you better put yourself in that guy's network. And again, Aaron Rodgers, and let me be sharper here. I didn't notice Aaron Rodgers raising his voice when it came to Black Lives Matter. I don't recall Aaron Rodgers standing up strong and tall and saying that Davante Adams is a man who receives my pigskin. Can he receive my empathy as a leader of the National Football League? I didn't see Aaron Rodgers standing up quoting Martin Luther King Jr. when it might have made a difference. When you wanted to stand against white supremacy, social injustice, and inequality, that it squeezed the life from the limbs of black people. Now to belatedly cite Martin Luther King Jr., is one of the wackest moves I've seen in a long time from a professional athlete of his caliber.
Preach, Doctor, preach. And by the way, for the record, Dr. King's quotes came from his letter from a Birmingham jail. From a Birmingham jail. This was 1963 Jim Crow South.
Right.
And he was talking about there are two types of law, just and unjust, in the Jim Crow South.
Right.
Even before your time.
It was before my time.
And how dare him? How can you reach for that? To try to justify what you're doing about vaccination or unvaccinated?
Aaron made that comment on a Zoom call from his home.
He did.
Dr. King was in jail.
Right. And Dr. King did not have a man bun, as far as I remember, on that day.
Rodgers. And he took a shot at Kyrie. Skip, if you remember Dr. King, I don't know if you Dr. Dyson, I don't know if you remember. He said, I'm not anti-vax or some flatliner.
No, he said flat earther.
Flat earther. Excuse me.
That was the shot at Kyrie.
That was the shot at Kyrie. Yes. But here's the thing. That's exactly what you are. Because you're taking a drug that was meant for livestock and parasites or human parasitic infections, not viral infections. But as you said, Dr. King, I keep calling Dr. Dyson, he always thinks, he's always thought he's the smartest guy in the room. And it is beneath you to question him. He's always very condescending. He's always very dismissive. And that's what I can't deny his talent. I can't deny his ability. But that was the one thing that's always rubbed me, and Skip can vouch to this. I've said these are the things that rub me the wrong way about him, is that his dismissiveness, his flippantness, his condescending, he's deceitful. And for me, he can miss me with all this stuff and this. I got a body autonomy. Just for one time, can you think about someone other than Aaron Rodgers? I know you've never done that in your life, but this is the one time that you really should think about someone other than you.
That's a great point. It's malignant narcissism and body autonomy. Again, you're talking to a man whose autonomy was limited in a jail cell, as Skip brilliantly pointed out. He is in the Birmingham jail cell writing against 8 clergymen who have remonstrated against him, who have reprimanded him for being too progressive and going too fast and wanting him to slow down. And as a result of that, he wrote saying that I identify with the principles and rules of justice and order, but not the rules of order and law above justice. And for Aaron Rodgers to, as you brilliantly did there, Brother Shannon, to equate what's going on with a mask mandate, with what's going on with a vaccination mandate, with what we were dealing with in terms of body autonomy, swinging from a tree, being beat by a club, having police dogs rip at our flesh, having our bodies not our own being raped and plundered by white supremacist logic. Sir, if you're going to use Martin Luther King Jr., at least elevate the conversation and show a broad and powerful spotlight on the issues that need to be exposed. But again, Aaron Rodgers is the textbook example of a so-called open-minded, free-thinking human being who's white, who really is reinforcing the very presuppositions of a kind of privilege that his skin provides him, that he is so unconscious of that he's stuck in it in a way that is deeply problematic. Ain't no vaccination for that, except exposing yourself to the currents of thought, belief, and behavior that will pull you from your narcissism into our collective struggle against dehumanizing impulses in this country.
And to sum this up, I read a quote from a GM last night saying that this reference to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is so controversial that it could affect whether Aaron could be traded or not traded. It might make him serve out the rest of his quote-unquote sentence in Green Bay because it will make him virtually untradeable because of the controversy that just got detailed on this show.
Wow, that's interesting. I would love to see that if that really happened. But I think Aaron Rodgers' skill set and the obliviousness of the people who are there is going to provide him some opportunity far beyond Green Bay. But I think it will change the cast and character of his perception. And if you're going to be that smarmy and self-righteous and you can't even follow the rules, even the greatest Tom Brady is willing to follow rules and do things, you got to really, really have a second coming. And I think maybe he might be stuck there with Devontae Adams for longer than he thinks.
Humility is not one of Aaron Rodgers' strong suits. The one thing you can't say about Tom Brady, he is humble enough to know what he doesn't know. And I'm not so sure that would have worked with him, Aaron Rodgers and Coach Belichick in New England, because he'd have thought he was the smartest guy in the room. It never worked.
That's right.
Boy,
Tom Brady's the GOAT. Get it right.
There you go. That's a good way to end this. You said that? Tom Brady's a GOAT? You heard that, Shannon? You heard that, Skip? Thank you so much for joining us.
Doc, we'll have the conversation about that off camera.
Be sure to check out Dr. Michael Eric Dyson's new book, Entertaining Race, Performing Blackness in America, available in stores and online now. I got some reading to do. Doc, it is always a pleasure.
Thank you, Doctor.
We wish you well, and we will check in very soon.
No mercy.
The Warriors improved to a league best 9-1 in large part thanks to Steph Curry. The 33-year-old former MVP dropped 50 points, 10 assists, and Golden State's win, surpassing Will Chamberlain as the oldest player in league history to reach those numbers in a game. Shannon, how much will this accomplishment help his rise in the all-time player ranking?
Well, he continues to set new bars, Skip. He's revolutionized the game already. And anytime you can beat Skip, it's not like he's 2 days or 35 days older. He beat it by 2 years. He's 2 years older than when Will set this record, Skip. And as I said, I think the thing is now, we're getting a reintroduction of Steph Curry after KD left. Because I think we minimized Steph Curry when KD was there.
I buy that.
Because KD is so great, we forgot just how great Steph Curry is.
Okay.
And now we're getting an opportunity. Last year, Skip, he led the league in scoring. This year, and he hadn't shot the ball well this year.
Not.
But it just goes to show you the bar that he set for himself.
Yep.
Skip, he has 35 games of at least 9 threes. The next closest on the list is James Harden and Dame Lillard with 9 each. He's done it 35 times.
Yep.
Skip, when we talk about the best players in the NBA, his name never gets mentioned. It goes KD, Giannis, LeBron. Giannis, KD, LeBron. LeBron, KD.
Okay, but he did win 2 MVPs back to back.
That's my point.
Okay, I got it.
He gets another MVP. He wins another title without Kevin Durant.
Okay.
He got to go in the top 10.
Okay, he's got a shot at that MVP. I'm not sure about another title.
Skip, they look good, Skip.
Okay, all right. All I got to say about Steph is nothing surprises me. 50 and 10 doesn't surprise me. It's like ho-hum. What else? But I need to see more in the postseason from him because we have not seen enough. He has not measured up in the postseason to his regular season all-time greatness.
Well, Skip, if you look at the 2 championships that he won with KD, you look at his numbers. Skip, he was 28. He was 28, 8 and 7.
Okay, but we all know that he flew to Long Island to recruit KD. We can't do it without you. And what happened in games 5, 6, and 7 against your Cleveland Cavaliers?
2016.
Go look at the numbers from Steph Curry. He completely folded and disappeared. He played even smaller in those games than he actually is.
Right.
And what happened in the first go-round, the first finals they won, he wasn't the MVP. Iguodala was, right?
Right.
Iggy changed the whole series by guarding LeBron and scoring on LeBron, right?
Let me ask you this, though. If he wins, let's just say for the sake of argument for this discussion, he wins an MVP regular season.
Yep.
He wins a title, Finals MVP.
Oh, well, that's huge.
I think you're going to have to mention him. It's going to be Magic 1A and 1B.
Okay, I got it. But don't forget, even against Toronto, he had 2 huge, crucial late shots that could have turned that series in Golden State's favor. I know they ended up losing KD and obviously lost Clay. But the point was, he had 2 huge shots that he missed. I'm not sure about his clutchness in the postseason because he has not displayed it enough. And when you told me that he had to go recruit KD to come because we need you. And what did you always tell me? He rode shotgun in that Lamborghini, right? He said, KD, you drive. Okay, well, that's not good enough yet to say you're all-time, because in the regular season, he's obviously the greatest shooter we've ever seen.
That's what we're talking about, Skip. Now we got a different argument.
Okay.
He does this. Minus KD. Now, remember, he won before KD got there. He won 2 MVPs before KD set foot in Golden State. He won a title before KD. He won 2 titles with KD. Now, this will be post-KD. He wins another regular season MVP. He wins another title. Oh, he got to go to the top 10. It's automatic.
If he wins another title.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Well, can he?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
without KD, I'm waiting and seeing because I don't think he can.
We'll see. They look good this year, Skip.
Well, then they're going to get Clay back on Christmas.
Exactly.
Okay?
You get Clay back. And so that's just going to add more depth to their bench. So now you go Clay and Steph.
And if they get Wiseman back to man the post for them, they're looking good so far. They haven't really played anybody yet, but we'll see.
He wins another title, Skip.
Okay. All right.
4 titles, 3 MVPs.
Will he be the MVP of the title, of the finals? I don't know.
I think in order for them to win it, I think he will have to be.
Have to be. No mercy. Mac Jones defended himself from what some are calling a dirty play, saying he thought Panthers defensive end Brian Burns had the ball and he was just trying to make a tackle. So, Shannon, are you buying this?
I said it yesterday, Skip. I thought he thought that Brian Burns hit him. He fumbled the ball. Brian Burns either had the ball or was going to get the ball. Skip, he's not twisting. Brian Burns is trying to get away. He's actually twisting. Mac Jones does not twist it. He just has his ankle and will not let him go. I'm not letting you already done sacked me and forced the fumble. I'm not going to let you get a scoop and score. You're not getting a trifecta on me. So he's holding his ankle. He doesn't twist. Brian Burns is trying to get away and twist his own ankle. I don't think this was a dirty play.
Yeah, you told me yesterday, if you were in that same situation, if you thought he was going for the football,
I will hold on
to his ankle with all your might.
I ain't letting go.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so who's to say I'm not buying what he's selling because I think he was just holding on for dear life so he wouldn't get the football.
Right. That's yes.
Okay,
yes.
well, that's an illegal play. I don't know if it's a dirty play.
No,
but
it's not illegal, Skip.
To hold a man?
Yes.
You can't hold a man.
Skip, is like if the offensive player fumbles the football, we see it all the time. The DB holds the receiver or the running back so he can't go get it.
Okay, well, to me, that's called holding, right?
Skip,
I'm throwing a flag at that.
No,
huh? Well, why not?
I'm not letting you get the ball.
Well, that's illegal.
Dude, I
I'm
can't
sorry.
let you get it. You want the trifecta. You want a force sack or you strip sack me and pick the scoop and score on me.
It looked a little dirty to me.
It wasn't dirty.
A little bit. All right, that's all. Skip, Shannon, great stuff. We're back same time tomorrow. The Herd is on now. Have a good one.